Good morning, students. Here I am with my fifth video in English literature. In my last video, we had started the play The Tempest, Act 4, Scene 1. Now, Act 4, Scene 1 is the part that you all will be getting for your first unit test and your first half yearly also. I would like to remind you all before I start that these plays are a continuation, and when you all start to watch the video, it is advised that you all go and have a flashback as to what was done the last time, because the play, the story is a continuation. So you all should know from where we are starting, right? So in last time we had done up till line number 100, where Prospero has called out the spirits, Iris, Circe, Juno. They were all there being guided by Arion. The last dialogue we had done was of Circe. Now we start with the dialogue of Juno. Line number 101. Juno, how are you, my generous sister? She's talking to Circe. Come with me to bless this pair so that they may be prosperous and honored. Now they are going to bless the newly happily married couple. So they are going together. Juno is wanting Circe to come and accompany her also. In the meantime, a song is played. Juno, honor riches. Now this is a song. Honor riches, happy marriage, long continuous and increase happiness, and hours of joy be ever yours. Juno sings her blessings on you. Juno is singing for the happily married couple of Ferdinand and Miranda, and Juno in her song is wanting that this couple should live a happy and a contented life even after marriage. Circe, her sister, intervenes. May you get plenty of earth's produce. Now Circe is again blessing the married couple, the happily couple, and telling them that there should be nothing short for them in the future. Well-stocked barns. Barns are like storage homes. And he says, may your barns be stacked with food, grain, so that you never face a problem in the future. And storehouses never empty. With wines. Wines are grapes from which wine could be made. With vines, with clusters of grapes. Plants bending under weighty fruit. Meaning you must have such a good fruit garden where the plants are over full with fruits. The stems can't bear the weight of the fruit. Your groves should be that richly born. May springs come to you at the furthest. Spring is the best season in the year, and says, may you always feel that you are in the month of spring, in the very end of harvest. May scarcity and want never come to you. This is all their blessings. It says that in your future life, there should be nothing short for you. There should be no scarcity in your life. So the blessing of Circe is upon you. And this way Circe blesses the happily married couple. Ferdinand, this is most splendid. Now Ferdinand is extremely surprised looking at all this. For Miranda, it's very common, and he is astonished as to what is happening, what is taking place. So he tells Miranda, this is a most splendid vision. Vision is like a dream, which is most artistically wrought. Wrought is made by magic charm. He knows now this is the magic that is working. He says, this is such a beautiful charm of magic that I am seeing. May I be bold to think that the character aspects, and may I think that these forms that I am seeing in front of me are the spirits. Prospero, hiding, says, these are spirits which by my magic I have called from the habitat to give a shape to my fancies. And these are the spirits that I have called upon. I have ordered to come out, and according to my wishes, according to my plan, I have commanded them to come out and to entertain you all. Ferdinand then tells him, let me live here forever. Now Ferdinand is so happy, so surprised by this entire environment that is here, He wishes to remain here and continue to live the rest of his life on this island. So he tells Perthus that I would want to live the rest of my life on this island because things are so beautiful here. Here I have such a rare, wonder-making and wise father-in-law, because in this island, on this island, I have such a wise father-in-law that has brought forth such beautiful, magnificent sights that I could not imagine even, who make this place a paradise. Meaning with all these happenings, this place is as good as paradise. Paradise is heaven. Prospero then tells him, "Dear, be silent now. Juno and Ceres are whispering seriously together." Now he tells him, just be quiet, for the spirits Juno and Ceres are talking among themselves. And he would like to know what they were talking about, what their plans were. There is something else to be done. Silence, or else the magic charm is spoiled. But there is something else to be done. And we should be silent, we should be quiet. Otherwise this magic charm that I have put forth could be spoiled if it is disturbed. Iris, one of the sisters comes, "Your water maiden called Naiads, who haunt the winding brooks. Brooks are narrow streams, and where crowns of sedges are innocent looks. I summon you from the rippling stream, where you stay in this green land." Now Iris comes forth and calls out all the Naiads that are in this stream. They should also come out and partake in the celebration. It is the command of Juno. Come quick, nymphs, and help to celebrate the union of true lovers. Do not be late. So she calls them and tells them as soon as possible, come out of the stream, help us in this celebration, help us in this happy occasion. In the meantime, some more Naiads come out. Enter certain nymphs. You reapers stand by sun, who are tired by the heat of August. Come here from the furrows and be merry. So Iris tells them, come out, don't be afraid, come join the celebration in this beautiful sun that is shining. Participate in merrymaking and put on your hats made of rye straw. Says, come participate, wear your hats, be in that celebrating mood. Join the young nymphs in a country dance. And he said, we would all like to join each other and dance and celebrate and be happy. Prospero aside. Aside is always when this dialogue is spoken but can't be heard. I had forgotten about the main plot. Now, while this happy occasion is taking place, suddenly Prospero thinks about the three conspirators who are on their way to come and try to kill him. So thinking about them, his mood changes and he says, he talks to himself, I had forgotten about the main plot is the plan of the beast Caliban and his helpers against my life. So in the meantime, of all this happy occasion, I have forgotten that Caliban and his two friends are plotting to kill me. The time to carry out the plot has almost come. Now the time to eliminate Prospero according to the plan of Sycorax has come, and he believes that now he should take action against the three conspirators. Well done, you may go no more. So now he wants this happy occasion to end. So he tells all the nymphs, all the spirits that was enough for the day. Very impressed, he tells them to leave and they could go now. And all this happens suddenly. Ferdinand looks at his to-be father-in-law, looks at Miranda, and he sees that something is wrong. It's not normal for Prospero to behave in this type of aggressive way. So he says to Miranda, this is strange, Miranda. Your father is in a fit of anger and it is affecting him strongly. Your father is in an angry mood, and because of this anger, his temperament, his nature is seen to be suddenly changed. Miranda has seen all this before. She tells him, never before today I have seen him affected with so much anger. So she, as his daughter, tells Ferdinand that I myself have never seen my father in such a rage, in such an angry mood. And she also is like warned that something could be wrong. Prospero looks at them both and tells them, you look, my son, so distracted as if you were frightened. Now looking at Ferdinand, Prospero surmises that Ferdinand is like type of scared. So he tells him, by your facial expression, I see that you are like timid, scared of my behavior right now. He comforts him. Be cheerful, sir. Our merrymaking is now finished. Now just relax. Be relaxed. The part where we were enjoying, that part has come to an end. The second part has now started. These actions of ours, as I told you earlier, were all spiritual. I have told you earlier also, all these things that you have seen before, Cyrus, Miranda, and the others are all spirits, and that they have melted into, and all the spirits that have come out, Iris, Juno, have just disappeared into thin air. And just like the unreal vision, the great towers rising to the clouds, splendid palaces, solemn temples, and the great world itself, and all those who belong to it shall melt into air. Well, just like these spirits have melted into thin air, in the same way, there will come a time when all of us at our death will also melt into thin air. We will leave this world just like the spirits have left the scene. Everything will fade out, leaving behind not a trace of it. We are so unreal as dreams are, and when we die, there is eternity. Well, we will also live like the nymphs, like the spirits, and when we die, we will experience permanent sleep. Sir, I am annoyed. Be patient. Then tells his to be son-in-law that at this moment I am annoyed, I am angry, but please be patient with my actions. Be patient with my mood, for my old brain is troubled. I am troubled. Something has come onto my mind which makes me troubled. And be patient. Bear with my actions. Nothing is affecting you, but let this weakness of mine not trouble you. If you like, retire into myself. Let not this action of mine be troubled. If you are tired, you go into my cell, have a rest, while I sort out the problem that is on my mind. I shall walk a round or two to calm my attitude mind. So, let me be free, give me space. I would like to leave you all also. Go out, think about things, and you all can relax in the meantime. He leaves them. Ferdinand, Miranda, we wish for peace. They also say that, okay, if you wish that, we would also leave you. We also wish for peace, quietness. Prospero, come as quick as thought. I think to Ariel. Now Prospero wants the Ariel to be by him, so he orders Ariel to come as quickly as possible. As he thinks of Ariel, Ariel appears. Ariel, I keep close to your thoughts. What is the wish? Ariel comes and tells Prospero, I know what you are wanting. Just command me, just tell me, and it shall be done. Prospero then tells him, Spirit, we must prepare to defeat Caliban's evil desire. And now its time has come where we should get ready to counter the plan of murdering me by Caliban. So let us get ready. They could be on their way. They could be anyway coming. So let us also be attentive. Ariel tells him, Yes, my master. When I represented Ceres, I should have told you, but I feared it might make you angry. He says that when I was calling forth the spirits, Ceres, Iris, Juno, at that time only I should have warned you. I should have told you about the plan of Caliban and the others. But I thought that if I tell you this, you will get angry. So I just kept it to myself. Now since you have brought it up yourself, this thought, I would like to tell you certain things. Prospero tells him, Tell me again, where did you leave these rascals? So Prospero finds out from Ariel that the last, where were these three? Where did? Because these three are being controlled by Ariel's actions. All of them, what they are doing, where they are all done by Ariel. Ariel tells Prospero, I told you, sir, they were all intoxicated with drinking. He said the last time I left them, they were all dead drunk, all intoxicated, talking, whatever they were talking had no meaning. They were so brave that they beat the air when it blew in their face. They were so intoxicated, so highly drunk that they were fighting with the air that touched them. They beat the ground for daring to kiss their feet. They were so drunk that even the ground on which they were walking, they started to stamp them. Yet they were aware of the plan that they had executed. He said, even though they were drunk, yet the plan of eliminating you, the plan of murdering you, that was all their mind. So I beat my drum and they lied. So he said, I beat my drum and I warned them. Then I put a spell on their ears, and they, like calves who follow the calls of their mother, followed me through thorny briars, sharp buzzes, prickly grasses. I put a spell on them, and with my spell, they were so enchanted that they continued to follow me, like sheep follow their mother. There I left them dancing. They were in the pool upon this chain as they danced in the foul pool. I left them in a particular pool, a type of water body in which there were a lot of slush, and I took them there. All three of them are in that slush, rolling about in the mud, dead drunk, not knowing what they are doing. So I think that's enough for today. I'll leave you. Tomorrow I'll start from here, and I would like to tell you, after watching this video, go back to the other video that was the first part of this and join them together and summarize it. Any problems, I'm always there. Thank you.